Hi friends, Robert here for Diverse Opals. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Thank you for your comments that you've been leaving, and for those of you who have been subscribing, it's really appreciated. Today, I want to talk about experiences with regards to cabbing. I'm showing you a piece of sandy matrix from Andamuka, but I just picked it up quickly as to help us talk about actual cabochons. And for some of you, your experience in cutting cabochons may be mixed. When I first started cutting cabochons, even though I had a mechanical mind, I struggled. And to be quite honest, my first attempt at cutting a cabochon turned out looking like this. Now, I'm not exaggerating. I was using a normal grinding wheel, and I ended up with a spiral cabochon. And I actually became very frustrated. In fact, I tried one day and then I tried another day, and I actually gave up. And it wasn't until sometime later that I had a friend come and use my workshop that I looked at the way he was cutting. And he was cutting on a flat wheel. I was in fact cutting on a round wheel. And for many of you, a round wheel like this may not be a problem. But for some of you, it may be a bit of an issue. What I did was I swapped over to a wheel like this. And this made all the difference. If you're having trouble starting out with cutting cabochons and you struggle to put a dome on top of the stone, it may very well be that you need to start out with a flat one. When I started out, I tried it with a round one, but I struggled. Yes, I can now cut with a round one because I've learnt the techniques that are involved. And what I wanted to talk about were, I've been trying to think about how to present this in such a way as to make you understand. But when we look at a round wheel, we've got a profile in one plane, and we're actually trying to put a dome on a stone in multiple planes. So it can be a little bit tricky. So you've only got a very small point of contact between the wheel and the stone. So you can see that the contact area is very small. And if you're starting out, this can be a bit of a problem, especially if you're trying to cut high dome stones. So I wanted to just say that if you are struggling with this, I would suggest that you go to a flat wheel. And just let me give you the illustration here. I mean, you probably understand what I'm trying to say, but because you've got a flat area, you've actually got more surface contact with the stone, and it's a little bit easier to control. Now, the other thing I'd like to talk about from the point of view of somebody who's starting out, somebody that's beginning with regards to cutting oval-shaped stones. Now, this won't apply if you're cutting a free-form stone, but I wanted to talk about symmetry, learning about symmetry with regards to an oval or a round. What I would encourage you to do is to come to your grinder, and whether you're using a round wheel or whether you're using a flat wheel, and that is to just grind by hand the most perfect oval that you can. And in that way, you can actually start to develop hand-eye coordination with regards to making nice shapes. The one thing about making an opal, cutting an opal, is to have nice shapes. Nice shapes sell, not just colour, but if you've got a nice symmetrical shape, it will be a lot easier to sell. So what we'll do is we'll just start to grind with this. So we're finished with the grinder. The well, I finished with the grinder to some degree. This is the time when you can sort of fine-tune things. And this has all been done freehand. You can see there's some doming on the top of the stone. And we want to have a bit of a radius going quite from side to side and from end to end. And we're looking for a parallel thickness as well. So that's what you've got to be trying to achieve when you're actually cutting a cabochon. To just make sure we have a symmetry that's as good as possible, what we need to do is just take a pen or a pencil, lay the stone down, and then we look at it from this area and we put it back, and to see if it actually is as near as perfect as possible to the other way, and it looks pretty good to me. So of course, if the symmetry is not right, it's probably time to go back to the grinder and do some more work. What we'll do now is we'll actually just set about finishing the stone. I'll dot this, I'll sand it and polish it, and we'll finish it off. But this has just been an exercise in helping you understand how best to find a nice balanced shape with regards to your oval or your round stones. Just a comment with regards to sanding. I am dry sanding as usual. I'm using a mask, I'm using a dust extractor, but with regards to any type of sanding, when you're actually turning like this, make sure you turn the opposite way as well. Because what happens is if you keep turning the same way, you put pressure on one side of the oval and it actually pushes the stone out of shape. So just keep that in mind. You want to turn one way and then turn the other way. Alright, we finished with our sanding, and although it looks like it's polished, it's not polished. Yes, it's got a very nice high luster on it, but a stone isn't normally polished without using some type of polishing media, whether it be diamond, whether it be cerium, whether it be tin, whether it be chrome oxide. These are all powders that should be used as an actual final polish to give you that really high luster. So what I'll be doing now is I will be polishing with this leather. It's O-pol polishing powder, and it shouldn't take very long at all because we've done the sanding stages right. So So that's it. We've got a really nice high polish on here now, and what we'll do is we'll finish the back. We're back from the workshop. As you can see, we've got a stone that doesn't have much colour, but the exercise was about symmetry in your opal. I won't say the stone's perfect because I can still find imperfections in the stone as I look at it in the cutting itself, but what I need to say is that when you're shaping your stones, take your time. Make sure that you get your stone as perfect in symmetry as you possibly can. If it takes time, it takes time, but develop good habits from the very beginning. Just take your time and get the best results you can. And that can be relating to hand pressure, it can be relating to the speed of your machine, it can be relating to the grade of your wheel. But if you start with developing good habits, it'll become easier for you as you progress to doing more and more stones. You'll be able to do them quicker, and your eye will actually be able to pick up the shape more quickly and to be able to determine when it's not actually in symmetry. Just one more comment I wanted to make. When you're looking at the surface of the stone, make sure that the light moves freely across the surface of the stone. If it's jumping, or the light looks like it's bending and then jumps, it means that the top of your stone is not sanded properly. Take your time. Find the correct method that works for you, and develop good habits. I hope this has been of help to you. I'm Robert for Diverse Opals. Thank you for watching.